Peace, thirsty love, that you wisdom, that you knowledge, that you respect, rise and fly high, stay true like the nines. Okay. We as true Moors, we understand that within this realm of existence that we live in right now, this society, that to try to just be someone who is like, and no offense to any religions or churches or anything like that, but someone that's in the church who tries to use the doctrine of a mystery God as being the controller of your destiny. We know that we must take responsibility for our own actions, and by doing that, anything that happened has occurred, it's on us, whether be good or bad. Now, that's not saying that we do not, what we do know of the higher beings, the supreme beings. We do know of, but we know as their children, our purpose here is to be able to stand on our own too. And they will assist, just like a parent, they will assist in what we're doing if we're doing it righteously. And then they will allow certain things to happen if we're doing things unrighteously. So we understand that. We're not, it's not a mystery, it's not a mystery God to us. It's something that's real and tangible that we have seen through our experiences and through life. So I normally speak about a lot of spirituality as far as taking things from a physical perspective and putting it more into a spiritual by combining it and showing you within the physical realm the existence of the higher deities, the higher beings, our higher ancestors, our brothers and sisters around the universe that exist, that are here watching and seeing how we are developing in this time right now, which is why this time is so important, because there's a time of a great awakening or an apocalypse, which apocalypse means the great revealing. You see what I'm saying? It means a whole bunch of information will be coming out. So it's a time, it's almost like this is like the finals in high school. This is like the finals. Like you have to be able to demonstrate that you have overstood your journey through these many cycles that we have been in. We have learned, gathered, and become better, and are really able to graduate into the college, the college space, the college realm. Or do we need to do it again? But with knowing that, we as Moors know that it's not just about spirituality. It's about history. It's about law. It's about health. All these things are together in the spirituality. It's all makes up your soul and makes you whole and complete. It's because it's all about knowing who you are. Through law, I know myself because I know my rights. It's based on me. Through history, I know my ancestors and how that relates to me. So that's knowing myself again. It's all connected. Through spirituality, I learn my physical and mental and spiritual state, which brings me closer to myself. Once again, the same thing. Through foods, health, and exercise, I learned how my body works and operates with certain foods that are good for me as far as genetically modified foods, and certain foods that actually benefit me as far as non-GMO or non-genetically modified foods, and also how much I really need to give myself sustenance to survive, to move on through the day. It's all a part of me. Everything is about knowing yourself, learning yourself, loving yourself. Through all these masteries, through all the I am self-law mastery, through all of this, you become whole and become a soul. And that is our aspect of spirituality. It is really the science of knowing oneself. Knowing oneself on all levels. This is what makes you someone who is not a minor or a minority, but a child of the L who is on the way to becoming an L and able to stand upon your own too. stand on your square and round it off, which is your pyramid. So dealing with that, the more I look and research, the more I see how important law is. Law is very important. Law is something that is designed for you. It's not nothing, because a lot of times in the indoctrination, we have been made to believe that the law is against who you are. But what we're not told is that there are two forms of English. There's two forms of language that we're dealing with. You have like your social language. For example, like in a social environment, if I was to say I was black, which I wouldn't because I'm not, but if I was to say I was black, that will be accepted as an actual justified way to describe myself as far as my position within a society in my group, as far as a group of people. So if I was to come to somebody and say I'm black, you know, they would be like, we'll speak like social speaking in social circles. That's accepted, which it is accepted in court, but it's not accepted in court as me being a human being as it would be in a social group. Because within court, black means to be 3/5 of a human. It also means, if you're dealing with etymology, pale, rosy cheeks, and dying. It means dealing with death. This is why it is meant to be about 3/5 of a human. Now, I'm not really going to go too much detail on law. I just want to express why it is so important to study law and do your research upon law. Because if you don't know the law, and really just trying to get rid of the idea that law is against you, when law is actually created for you by your own ancestors that they don't want you to know. This is why also you have to know your true history. You cannot keep going off of the history that someone told you. You can't even go off of your the religion that you've been told, because a lot of things that is told within the religious realm, as far as the pastor is not going to tell you everything that is within that book. The pastor is only going to give you sermons based off maybe a couple of scriptures. He's going to take two scriptures, or she's going to take two scriptures, and she's going to do a whole 30 to an hour long sermon upon those two scriptures, never taking it any further. Now, I don't know about you, but I know for me, in my own experiences, a lot of times every year, we were going over the same stuff. I never knew about in the Bible and like Leviticus and stuff across the book that it speaks about putting put a turban on your head and putting a crown upon it. I never knew that. I never knew about that in Leviticus, that Moses was teaching people about kosher meals. I never knew that. It doesn't particularly say that, but when you read it and you understand what you're reading, you will see that he speaks about kosher and how to prepare certain. When he spoke about the sacrifice, he's speaking about preparing kosher meals upon the altar. But that's a whole nother story. And don't take my word for that. Go do your own research. Just look it up. You know what I'm saying? Get the good book and read it for yourself. And you will see that there's a lot of things that was in that Bible that's never spoken about. Because if it is, just like if you know the law, you will really know what religion is. And what religion is a tool to make you better. Not to just sound good, but it really is put there to make you better, to let you know the times that we're in, and to keep you prepared and not scared. And history does the same. Law does the same thing. When you know the law, when you go on the court and you know the law, there's no need to be afraid. Why are you afraid for? Because if you know that you didn't do anything wrong, then you're just going to offend the let's just say, for now, your name. Which Moors, we don't have names. We have appellations. We have titles for a reason. But I'm not going to go into that either. I'm just really like I said, I'm just trying to speak about how important, it is to You also need to study a number of different things. You always need to study. This is why Noble Drew Ali said, study, 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 study. And when you're done studying, you study yourself. Because as you study and you study and you study, and then as you go into meditation, or you